Hey, it's Charles Caldwell, and this is my week 3 video for Java 1. We're going to demo the app, as always, side by side with a checklist of the requirements and check them off as we show them off. And then we'll take a quick glance at the code. So without further ado, let's jump on the computer and get to it. So here we are on the computer, and it seemed like the rubric and requirements this week were kind of heavy on the code and how that was implemented, a little bit lighter on the UI. So we'll jump through this UI real quickly and then jump over to the code and see what we did there. So the main requirement of the UI was supporting both portrait and landscape. So let's show that off. Here we are in portrait, and then we'll flip over to landscape. And you can see this is a completely different layout from portrait. And of course, the portrait needed a spinner, as we see, and here's our spinner. And this is just being fed off of a regular array adapter with a custom class, and the custom class overwrites the toString. And we click through these and we get different companies here with their logo, founded and the current CEO. Just clicking through all these to show that whichever one I click on corresponds to the correct data is shown in the detail view. And then when we flip over here, we get the list view, and this is a custom layout, list layout here, because as you can see, the icon is not native to the list item. And so let's just click through these and show that Microsoft, Twitter, it all shows up, Facebook, and Amazon. So that pretty much takes care of these. And this one here. So let's go over to the code and see how we implement the rest of this, our collection of custom objects, how we made a custom adapter view, and we did this shared UI population method. Okay, here we are in the code. Let's take a look at the layout file real quick. This one is for our list view, image, text view, which corresponds to this, image, text view, image, text view, image, text view. Let's look at this layout file here. This is our landscape one, and it's showing up as landscape because it is in a folder. Layout, landscape. This one's just in layout. So two separate XML files. One's layout, one's landscape. Or one's portrait and one's landscape. Now, something to point out real quick. As long as we're here, note that this is the text view for TV company name. TV is just for text view. That corresponds to this one here. And this is the landscape. And if we come over here in the portrait, we'll note that the exact same ID is here. Two different XML files, same ID name. This comes into play in a bit. Let's look at our custom object here. What we'll point out here is the fact that there are 4 points of data, and that this drawable ID here is an int, so this will actually correspond to an r.drawable later in the code. A couple things of note in here. Here we're checking the orientation, and then we either populate the spinner or list view based on that. Here we are. We're using an array adapter in the spinner with just some simple Android-based layouts. Then we have a click here, and this click event here is picking out which company we chose, and then is calling this shared UI population, which we'll see down here. And here is our list view, which is using our custom adapter. There's that. And this is where that comes into play, where we had the two similar IDs in these two files. So that enables us here to actually use the same of these. So this can correspond, so you'll see here, this one corresponds to whichever layout we happen to be in. And the reason that works is because this find view by ID takes in this int, and then the find searches in whichever layout happens to be active at the moment. It doesn't care which. The only thing it cares about is whether or not there happens to be an element in the current UI that has that exact int. So take a quick glance at the company adapter, and we'll see we overrode all these just like you're supposed to. We're doing the view recycling here, and then we're setting the image and the text view, which again is these two here. And we return the view. So that's kind of the whirlwind tour of the code. Look forward to seeing what we have in store for us this next week, tomorrow morning. Until then, thank you for watching.